Alright, hi everyone. This is another dream I had. I don't remember if it was this past Shabbat or the Shabbat before this one. I think it was this Saturday that just passed. But this is the dream, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. So, in this dream, I was at a friend's house, and this friend was a Greek bodybuilder. I specifically remember him being Greek and him being like a large bodybuilder, and he was asleep. And for whatever reason, I had a room at his house, or I lived in his house, or I was staying there and visiting, and I had like the whole top floor to myself. And one of my female cousins came by, and she was a veterinarian. In real life, she's not, but in this dream, she was a veterinarian. And this Greek guy had a dog that was a Labrador, like the beige Labrador. And my cousin came over. She woke the Greek guy up, and she came up to me and she's like, "Oh, we gotta take the dog out for a walk. We gotta take his dog out for a walk right now." She was very adamant about taking his dog out for a walk, and I thought that was strange, but I went with her and we walked the dog. When we got back to the house, she gave the dog a shot, like with a syringe. And she was explaining to me she was a veterinarian and all this other stuff. I was like, okay. So my cousin left, and I went on inside the house, back up to the floor that I was staying on, and I was sitting down, and this hummingbird that was like a very bright blue and green color flew inside the house. And he flew, it was like a large patio door that was open. The bird flew inside the house and flew over to the left in the room that I was in, and he was just fluttering around the top of the ceiling. He was just flying there. I was waving my hands at him, trying to get him out. He wouldn't leave, so I said, okay, well, he's not bothering me. I guess he'll leave when he gets ready. So the hummingbird just kept flying inside of the house. So then I looked over to the right, and another bird flew inside the house, and this bird was like a bright yellow or a bright neon green color and black. He flew inside the house, and I tried to get him out of the house, but he didn't leave. He landed inside of a basket that was in the house, and he just like sat there like it was his nest. And then another bird flew in the house. This was the third bird. This bird, from what I remember, was a bigger bird. He was white, and he had like black coloring around his eyes. He flew into the house, and he sat in a pot, like a plant pot or a basket, and they just sat there like it was a nest, like it wasn't outside, like it was their house. So I was like, okay, well, I guess they're supposed to be in here. So I stopped batting at them to get out of the house, and they never did leave. They just sat there. And so I turned around, and these black ladies had made me some food. And the food was plátanos, like plantain, like the large dark plantain bananas that are sweet. They had taken those bananas and rolled them out really flat, like the size of really large pancakes. And they had like grilled chicken and avocado, and I think maybe some tomato. And it was like a lot of fluffy pancake, like thin pancake type of plantains, just stacked up. They were really hot and fresh, like they had just cooked them. So I went over and started eating. After I ate, I went back to my room where the hummingbird was, and all three of the birds were still in the house. And I sat down, and I had a vision of a bear climbing up into the house and coming inside. And I realized that if the bear came in, I was able to get out of the house and climb up on the roof, so I would, be away from the bear. After I completed having that vision, there was somebody at the window. So I look over at the window. Mind you, I was like on the second or third floor, and it was a Caucasian female at the window, an older woman looking in her 40s or 50s. And I opened the window, and she had a large paper sack full of, I think it was a paper sack, but she had provision. She had a lot of toilet tissue, a bunch of toilet tissue and paper towels and stuff you might need. She had like supplies, and she was telling me, make sure that my son gets these supplies. And then I knew that she was the mother of the Greek bodybuilder. And she looked kind of annoyed or concerned to be giving his supplies to me, because it's like she knew that she was surpassing him, because he was in the house somewhere asleep. She could have just given them to him, but she knew she had to surpass him and give me the supplies. Like she had to give me his blessings, right? Like she didn't choose, so she was forced. She had to give me his blessings. Instead of giving it to him, she had to give it to me. And I could tell she was kind of concerned or a little bit annoyed by that. So I took it and I told her, I'll give it to your son. She was like, she wasn't concerned because she knew she had to bring it to me. So I took the stuff. I think it was like canned foods and beans and stuff like that, and a bunch of toilet tissue and paper towels and things like that. Then she climbed back down the ladder that she climbed up to the window on, and she left. And I woke up. Now, the birds were also still in the house. I don't know what that meant about the birds, but it was very clear. Now, the day before I had this dream, I had a lot of birds, like these doves flying to the window, and actual where I live, like it was these doves flying to the window. And I thought maybe it's cold outside because they just kept on flying to all of my windows and like sitting on the outside windowsill. So I don't know. I'm not sure what that means. If you guys know, please let me know. I prayed for interpretation, and I'm sure I will receive it. I think it was a good sign. I think it was a good thing. I think the birds mean that I'm being protected or watched or something. That something, a place is prepared for me or something, because they came into my home and they already had homes in my home. So if you guys have any interpretations or any questions or anything, please let me know. All right, thank you.